There's something about college sports tournaments that has a sense of prestige to them. Be it the history of the competition or the amount of teams vying for the ultimate prize, they always have a buzz, and the NCAA Div 1 Men's Ice Hockey Championship is no different. While the NCAA hockey tournament doesn't have quite as many teams taking part in it as basketball's March Madness, which has 68, the NCAA hockey tournament is still a full-fledged tournament, equaling the NHL playoffs in teams with 16. Unlike the NHL, however, each round is a single elimination game, so if you lose, you're going home. And also, there are a whopping 60 Division I ice hockey programs in the US, so how does the NCAA decide which teams get to face off for the ultimate prize? Well, first, it all starts with the championship committee. This committee is made up of 6 members, all who are coaches or athletic directors of teams playing in the NCAA Division I programs. Now, the committee has to work with all the teams, but in the end, they do have the final say. Within Division I, there are 6 conferences, and the teams that win the playoffs within those conferences get automatic spots into the NCAA Hockey Championship Tournament. So that right there gives us 6 out of the 16 teams that participate. So how does the committee choose the other 10 teams when there are 6 conferences? Well, they use a thing called RPI, or Ratings Percentage Index. This tool takes into account the team's winning percentage for 25% of the weight, the strength of schedule for 21% of the weight, which is an average winning percentage of every opponent faced, and the final factor, which takes up 54% of the RPI, is the opponent's winning percentage, which is basically a look at the strength of the entire conference as a whole. With these numbers in place, there are just a few final touches for the committee to make. A rankings list is made to identify the top teams in the NCAA. The winners of the conference playoffs won't necessarily be appointed the top spots either. On the rankings, the only spots that actually matter are the top 4, as they're automatically placed into the tournament, with the 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds next to their names. A key note is that the committee doesn't weigh playoff losses or wins any more than a regular season win or loss. That's why you'll have teams who get eliminated in the first round of their conference playoffs making the national tournament. Another key rule is that the committee would like to avoid having teams from the same conference playing each other as much as they can. When making the bracket, the committee splits it up into 4 regions: East, Northeast, West, and Midwest, placing 4 teams into each region. One of each of the top 4 teams that I mentioned earlier are then placed into these 4 regions, so the idea is that they are as far from each other as possible. The 1 and 4 seed will be on one side of the bracket, while the 2 and 3 seed will be on the other side. After that, the committee will try to place teams into matchups that are competitive and make for exciting hockey. They'll try to keep the top 16 teams that they ranked in the tournament, but if, let's say, the 15th seed plays absolutely awful hockey that no one wants to watch, then they may skip over them for another team. Because of this, teams get moved around throughout the different regions within the tournament all the time, all in favor of attendance numbers, game intensity, new competition, and the avoidance of travel costs. The committee will even try to go as far as to place teams so that they won't have to see a second round where teams within the same conference play each other. Obviously, this won't always be avoidable, but they'll try to accomplish that to the best of their extent. As the teams play, the final 4 teams move to one last location, where the final 4 then become known as the Frozen 4. From there, 4 becomes 2, and finally a national champion is crowned. Of course, there are always schools that feel that they should have been selected for the tournament, but the committee is out to look for the best interests of the NCAA as a whole. And hey, it could be worse. Just look at how angry people were with the college football playoff seeding. I hope that sheds some light on how the NCAA Div 1 Hockey Championship bracket is chosen. It's pretty confusing, but that's just how these types of things are. I hope you liked the video, and with that, I'll see you in the next one.